Hello, and welcome back to the Being with Bella podcast. My name is Isabella, but I also go by Bella, and I am the host of this podcast. Today, I wanted to just kind of chill while my tea is cooling down. I'm starting to get really sleepy, but I had been planning on recording an episode today, so I gotta stick to my ambitions. I gotta stay loyal to myself. So the first thing is the whole concept of shoulda, woulda, coulda. Like the whole concept of like I should have done this or I wish I would have done this differently. Like the whole concept of like this should have gone differently in the past. It indicates regret. I feel like regret is natural and humane to experience at times, but I think that when we speak like this to ourselves or when we speak like this about our decisions and our experiences, it's just not the most productive. Oh, I should have done that. I could have done that. I would have done that. What about that is productive? To an extent, we learn from our experiences and we learn from our mistakes, but I think it can get to a point where it becomes so excessive that it's not empowering. It doesn't involve compassion for oneself when we speak that way. And maybe you could have done that, but you didn't, and this is where you are in this moment. We would have done that, but we didn't, and this is where we are in this moment. I should have done that, but I didn't. And so this is the situation that we are in this present moment. And I think just like coming back to that is so grounding and so freeing because it takes off all this weight of the past and of wishing things would have gone differently. Like it's trying to control the uncontrollable, essentially. It is such a freeing way to live when you can really just ground yourself in the moment and realize you don't have control over the past. You don't have control over the entirety of your future. You have control over certain aspects of your future. But just sitting here and grounding yourself and realizing, okay, I can reflect on that and think about what I would have done differently, but then I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on and I'm going to keep living my life and I'm going to set myself free from my regrets, set myself free from my past. I think when you are someone who struggles with dealing with uncertainty about different aspects of our lives, we try to find certainty by searching for what could have created a different outcome, whether that's going back into the past and dissecting different situations and different decisions we made and dissecting how the outcome would have been different if we made those decisions instead of the ones we chose. That's one way of trying to gain more certainty and control. But it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion of control and an illusion of safety, an illusion of certainty, because we associate this uncertainty and this unknown with a lack of safety. We associate the uncertainty and the unknown with an unsafe environment so much sometimes to the point where we don't let ourselves be in the present moment because we're so focused on this illusion of protection from the unknown and keeping our life under control, quote unquote. There are going to be so many things that life throws at us that we can't control and we can't choose. There's absolutely nothing we can do to change them and change the situation in any way, shape, or form. And I think that can be highly distressing for some people, especially people who struggle with a perfectionist mindset like me. Like, it can be highly distressing when you feel like you don't have control over something and you don't have power over something. What are we truly trying to protect ourselves from? That's my question. Like, what are we truly trying to protect ourselves from? What is there to protect ourselves from at the end of the day? What is there to protect ourselves from? Just take a second. If you find yourself exerting excessive control in a situation or just feeling exhausted by a situation because you're just putting so much energy into it because you're trying to control so much of what is happening and you're trying to control and predict the outcome of the situation. If you notice yourself doing that, take a second to reflect on, okay, why am I doing this? Like, what am I so afraid of? What am I so afraid of that I feel like I need to control this excessively to the point where it drains my energy? What are you so afraid of that you feel the need to do that? I'm not an advocate at all for self-shame and self-criticism. I'm very much an advocate for self-compassion, and so truly just being curious with yourself, like, okay, why am I trying to control this? Like, actually, why? Be curious about that for a second. Because a lot of the times we're trying to protect ourselves from a feeling. We're trying to protect ourselves from the parts of us that are unhealed, from the parts of us that we are not ready to face, or from the narratives that we have created in our head about ourselves that we are not ready to face. My challenge for you is, if you're listening to this right now, I want you to take out your journal and I want you to take some time to reflect on what narrative you have created in your head about yourself, because we don't realize how much power we have over the way that we perceive ourselves, how much power we have over our reality. We are ultimately in control of how we choose to perceive things. I want you to take out your journal and I want you to write down, what are all the labels that I put on myself? What are all the narratives that I have created about myself? And just take some time to reflect on that and write about that. Pause this podcast and go ahead and do that. Now that you've written out your narratives and you're actually seeing them on paper and just the ways that you describe yourself and speak to yourself, I want you to now cross off the narratives that are not helpful, that are not empowering towards you. Cross off any narratives that are self-deprecating, that are limiting beliefs, that make you feel small. Any narratives or descriptors that have a negative connotation, such as that, I would like you to please cross off. Thank you very much. Now you should only be left with the empowering and the positive narratives you've created about yourself. That's really all you need to give attention to. We all have our demons, we all have our serpents, we all have our inner struggles, but the more power and attention you give to them, the more prevalent they will be. The more power and attention you give to any sort of negative energy, whether that's negative judgment from the external, whether that's thinking pessimistically, whether that's giving into fear, sitting in a state of confusion, sitting in a state of indecisiveness, which is something that I am very guilty of. Rather than feeding into those things, I want you to feed into what you are decisive about. I want you to feed into what you are confident about, what you do believe to be true about yourself that is positive, and give more energy to nurturing those aspects of yourself and give more energy to amplifying those positive traits that you already possess, rather than focusing on what you are lacking or what is negative. An abundance mindset is so life-changing. Like, it's actually insane. In my opinion, living with an abundance mindset is the most freeing way to live. You can find the positive in any situation. You can put your energy and focus onto the positive, onto what is known, onto what you are confident about, and feel optimistic about what's to come and feel content and at peace with your life circumstances. You can choose to do that, or you can choose to focus on what is lacking. Living in a true state of abundance is just being abundant from within. When you can cultivate that abundance from within and truly feel secure and rooted in that abundance, then you will be invincible to any external judgment, any negative energy that comes your way, because you have this abundance, this aura of positivity that you are expanding upon each and every day. And someone's negativity or limited belief system does not even have an impact. It's like you have a force field of positivity surrounding you, and you just emit this light and this energy that is so strong that the limited lines of thinking and the negative lines of thinking just don't even have an impact. It bounces off like a bouncy ball. There is more I would like to chat about, but I don't think we're going to be doing it in this episode because I'm getting sleepy. I hope that this helped you reframe your thinking a little bit. I hope this helped you free yourself a little bit from your mind and free yourself from the external, and kind of get more in touch with who you are on the inside and feel more content and at peace with who you are and what direction you want to take your life. Hopefully that helped inspire you a little bit to do so. And yeah, I will talk to you next time. Thanks so much for listening to me yap and get existential as I do. Love you so, 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 so much, and have a great rest of your day / evening / afternoon / dusk / dawn. Bye bye.